Welcome back to episode 27 of Chambers Chatter. I'm Laura Chambers-Bavalos.
And I'm Shay Chambers-Helms. Today we get to sit with Ashley Rhodes, a longtime event planner who is going to tell us the story of kind of what the next chapter of Orange Grove is going to look like.
And a huge shout out to this month's sponsors, Soiree Social Media and Chambers Helms Group.
Ashley, we are so thrilled to be sitting here at Orange Grove and this just most beautiful home. I cannot wait to hear the story about everything.
It's been a journey, that's for sure.
Start at the beginning because you have an interesting history tie to Orange Grove, which is fascinating.
Well, I'll start how I got involved with Orange Grove to begin with, because it is a little interesting in itself. So I've been an event planner in the area for almost 20 years and was hired for a different type of event, not a wedding, but Mrs. Trask's celebration of life, which was here at Orange Grove. And so it was during that time that conversations began with the family about the future of Orange Grove and what it might become. And so it was that day that we started talking about this and then making it a reality. Well, about 6 months into the project of cleaning out and 60 years of family in this home and getting it ready to share with others, I did an interview much like this one with WHHI TV. And after that, I took the clip and I just put it on my personal Facebook page to share with friends and family on, hey, this is what I'm doing next. Well, it was from that post that my great Aunt Beth from Augusta, Georgia, came back with a very long response. And it was some information that I didn't even know. My great-grandmother, Eunice Carter McKellar, actually grew up here.
Oh, so amazing.
So,
Such a small world.
It is such a small world, and I actually couldn't believe it, and I immediately asked the Trask family, do you know, do you know who owned this before you or before the Snows? Because I did know that name, and lo and behold, there was a photograph that was from 1937, and it said, the Carter home. Evie Trask actually did just a quick Google search and found another interview that my great Aunt Marion had done with the Spring Island Trust. And so in the 1940s, my great-great-grandfather sold Orange Grove to buy Spring Island. But it was just a little too I don't even know the word to use on the feeling that I had on, this project that I've been working on for 6 months to find out that it was also a part of my family's history too. Just made it that much more special.
So interconnected.
Yeah, the universe is aligning there.
Yeah.
And just to go back a little bit more, tell people what Orange Grove is. So it's a massive piece of property.
It is. So from what I understand, the property has been together as the plantation as it exists today since the 1700s. It was originally owned by a man by the name of Mr. Perry, which Perry Road is the road that you travel down to come to Orange Grove Road. And I believe it was his daughter married a Fripp. And so then it was, a lot of plantations on St. Helena or Fripp properties. And I believe it was a Fripp property until 1926, when a General Henry Bowles from Massachusetts purchased the property. And when he purchased it, there was a tabby house. And the tabby house actually, there's one cornerstone that is right behind where I'm sitting out in the yard. He tore it down, and then he built the house that we are sitting in. We're actually sitting in the original kitchen. But this house was built in 1927. So turning 100 years old next year. And then from what I have discovered, Henry Bowles sold it to my great-great-grandfather, Lewis Henry Carter. And then there may have been some other owners, but then the Snows and then the Trasks. The Trask are definitely the family that has owned it the longest, and they still do own the property. And so after the passing of the matriarch and patriarch of their family, the 4 living children decided that they would like to take it into its next phase of life, and that is what we're sitting in today.
Yeah, it feels like it is like an honor almost to be in here and what y'all have done to, and I'm sure you can probably speak after knowing then the beauty that y'all have captured and bringing it probably back to life some.
Yes, yes, I would definitely say so. You know, when I first came into the house, when it was kind of time to pack things up, and that was, I think, maybe what was a little emotional for the family, but also just exciting too, is that they get to kind of go through those things and then see what it's going to become. But I remember walking upstairs with John, and there was carpet in the master bedroom, and I said, I bet there's 100-year-old hardwoods under this carpet. And sure enough, there was. So that was fun, to be able to uncover that and then just refinish them, and so there they are, and I think perfect.
Some people find a place they love. We were born into one. 7 generations of family rooted right here in Beaufort. The Lowcountry isn't just where we work, it's who we are. We built this team on something simple. Treat every client like family and find them a home that feels like one. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's the place where your story unfolds.
Whether you're coming home or finding it for the first time, we'll get you there.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it's exciting to be able to be back in this place of my career, where I get to show a beautiful property, tell the history, and let people enjoy their special moments here.
That is so cool. And part of what I think of my understanding is you've created some sort of conservation easement for this property, or how?
Well, not me.
Okay.
That would have been Mr. Trask, so John Trask Jr., who, if you don't know, he was the founder of the Open Land Trust, which is the first land trust in the state of South Carolina. I have to say that. That's a very cool fact. But actually, he placed it in a conservation easement. So the property is in a conservation easement, and it doesn't mean that it can't ever be owned by anyone else. It just means that the way the property stands today is the way that it will stand in perpetuity.
That's amazing.
And
how many acres are we sitting on?
This side of the property is about approximately 50 acres. And then there's the opposite side of the property, which is the farm side. It's all one, but just that's the other side. It's about 800.
And has that always been together? So back when your
Yes.
family owned it, they purchased the whole piece?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's so cool.
After finding out that my family was a part of it, I do a lot of work in conservation myself, and I have a friend who is a really amazing researcher, and I called her and said, Kathy, can you dig this up? Because first of all, I didn't even know this existed, and it would just be fun to see how, when it happened and all of that kind of stuff. And so we've found some of those deeds, and it was interesting because it was all it was like all separated, but it was all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so, and like to be an event planner and then to work at the Open Land Trust with all of this, and now you're intertwined with it all. Like, it just
Truly
so-
universal aligned perfectly with it.
It is really kind of a funny story how it all connected, and I'm not gonna lie, I think that there might have been a time where I'm like, what am I doing? And then when I found out about my family, it was like, okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's a little God wink. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be, because it really is. When I look at my career, I originally, right out of college, worked in interior design. And then there was the recession of 2007, 2008. Not a fun time. I reinvented myself. I became an event planner. Then insert COVID. I couldn't work. It was illegal in the state of South Carolina to host events of large numbers. And so then I was on the board of the Open Land Trust, and so then pivoted again and joined the team there. and then and then was hired to plan a celebration of life. And then here I am. So it's kind of funny how sometimes you might not understand, but it was all the stars aligning. So, but Orange Grove is a really special place, and I'm really thankful to the Trask family for trusting me to kind of drive the bus on this next chapter. We have had our first wedding, and it was a huge success. And so we have other weddings planned for the fall, and now the 2027 calendar is starting to book, and it's exciting. It's exciting. And I do like being in one place, and it's not a bad place to work every day.
Beautiful. It is. But do you think y'all will do a 100-year celebration? Maybe?
You know, it's funny. I was just talking about that this week. We definitely need to host a grand opening. And I think that maybe a grand opening and a 100th birthday party in one makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does.
So more to come.
Oh, yay.
During the restoration process, were there any cool things that you guys found? I mean, I know you said the hardwood floors, but anything else that y'all discovered?
The hardwood floors, definitely. In the basement, there was a window, like a really cool old window that had been covered, that we exposed. That was really neat. And then as we were kind of doing some work in the yard, there was just one section where it was just lots of dirt, and we had a really hard rain. And then I was outside walking around with the irrigation guy, and I was like, wait a minute, what is that? And I have found, I actually have a cookie sheet that is just old pottery. I found some an Indian pipe piece, which was really neat. There is one really cool thing that we found that really kind of inspired the finish on the floor, which on social media, everyone is talking about the foyer floor being painted. But the original back door to the house at some point had been replaced. But in some conversations with the family and the groundskeeper here, we realized that the original back door was in the barn.
No.
And so we actually were able to salvage the transom that matches the transom over the front door, and we repurposed it. And so we actually inset it into the wall over the bar. So it's just a really cool nod to the past, and we left it in its original form. So it's distressed and cool, and kind of as you walk through the front door and you follow the painted floor, it leads you to the bar.
So cool. Is that one of your favorite parts of the house?
I think so. I really love that we were able to incorporate it. We didn't do a lot to the house.
Yeah.
But the little things that, here and there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashley, thank you for hosting us here today. We are so happy to be here.
Thank you.